I think so.
Lauren, we have 2 visitor centers. And we get all sorts of questions from all sorts of people. We got to answer them. We have volunteers, professionals. You're going to help us out. You're going to be deputized now as a volunteer for a segment we call We Get Questions. All right. These are all questions we actually got.
Okay.
This one might help or not. How come there aren't as many hot springs in Sonoma? The kind where you sit naked in the rocks with the water flowing 60s style. So this is an older person wearing Birkenstocks who's like, yo, man, where's the old springs?
Well, I know there used to be that, Morton's, the Fairmont.
Right.
They call it Agua Caliente for a reason.
Absolutely.
But I don't know why they aren't there anymore. In fact, I think just the Fairmont still kind of tap into that. I think they have in their spa they have. But no, you can't be naked.
Right. I mean, I wonder if the Fairmont they can, I guess. But you're right. So Morton's, which is a cool spot in Glen Ellen.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a family resort, so people aren't running around au naturel, as it were.
No.
But the springs do come and heat up that water. And the Sonoma Creek, the same one that goes down by you, does have areas where the springs, the hot springs bubble out of mud. Cool. Yeah. But there aren't like the big rocks like you see in the Eastern Sierra and the volcanic areas where you see that. But there were a long time ago. But in 1906, something happened in California that shifted a lot of things.
Was it an earthquake?
It wasn't. You have 2 choices, earthquake or fire, or maybe flood. So, yes, that's what happened. And actually, some of the hot springs, and actually big hot springs, did shift. But it's interesting, most of the power that we get, including the electricity that is currently powering this podcast, comes from a geothermal field in Sonoma County, way up on the border up by Lake Napa. It's called the Geysers.
Oh, yeah.
Same geothermal pools and stuff like that. So the answer is there aren't as many hot springs in Sonoma because of 1906 earthquake. There are plenty of hot springs still at the Fairmont, still at Morton's.
And actually, it's in Lake County, so I'm not allowed.
Go for it.
Am I allowed to talk about
Why
that?
not?
Okay. There is a hot springs, and you can be naked there, and it's gorgeous.
Harbin
Hot Springs.
Harbin Hot Springs is up there. There's a couple others up there, and you're absolutely right. And Jack London, did he go to Harbin or did he go to the other one? He went to Vichy Hot Springs.
Oh yeah,
which
that's in Ukiah.
Yeah. So if people do want to go to the hot springs, yes, we have some. The Fairmont has the fancy, beautiful, amazing experience. Morton's has a great family experience.
And there's one in Calistoga too.
And then Calistoga, it's the same volcanic fissure
that
works its way up there. Yeah. So there you go. Here's a good question we got. Is there a good podcast to listen to that covers outdoor adventures in Sonoma County?
I'm sure the Sonoma Spiel.
You're hired.
I can talk about some stuff like that. Is that the trick question?
Well, no. So Sonoma Spiel is definitely one, which is the podcast you're listening to.
I don't know. I'm actually fairly new to the whole podcast thing.
Okay.
I mean, I know where you could look up things. We have a lot of state parks. I'm sure their websites.
Where do you like to go hiking? Like, would you do that or
Well,
biking?
Yeah, I live like steps away from the Montini Trail, so that's easy kind of every day I can go do that. But Sugarloaf is when I really want to.
It's a great one.
Go on a hike and go to the top.
Oh, and they have a lot of winter camping right now. It looks really awesome. And they have like glamping, and they can also rent your own tent. Another good podcast, Weekend Sherpa, who's it's an email thing you can get, but Brad lives here in town, and he often covers a lot of outdoor stuff. Yeah, so
Weekend Sherpa.
Weekend Sherpa.
Cool.
Okay, here's one we got. It comes from the Sonoma County Wine Imbibers group on Facebook. So thank you, Sarah, for doing that. Here it was posted. We will come to Sonoma County next week and stay in Glen Ellen.
Yay.
Does anyone have any suggestions for transportation to visit wineries? We will have a rental car, but don't think other drivers are covered. Can we reserve an Uber at certain pickup times from the vineyards?
Technically, yes, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Why?
Uber is just not. First of all, the service can be sketchy, but there just aren't a lot of Ubers. I mean, you could try maybe if you start earlier and on it, but I wouldn't rely on it.
Yeah.
There are a couple companies that do like the designated driver thing, so you don't need to rent a van or like a black car or one of their cars. So you can find one of those.
Absolutely.
And then probably don't want to do this, but the number 30 bus goes up and down the highway.
Thank you. You know what? Thank you.
No,
it's not free. The Sonoma Shuttle is free up until the spring.
The 32, yes.
But good job for knowing the buses. Thank you.
I did, yeah. They're at the end of Beltane Ranch, actually. There's a stop.
There absolutely is a stop.
There's one probably close to Mascardini. I mean,
there's one at St. Francis Winery.
Yes.
It goes up and down the entire valley.
Yeah.
So that's Sonoma County Transit, or I think it's sctransit.org or .gov.
Yeah.
You can look it up.
The trolley goes up and down the highway, too.
So So you can take the Sonoma Valley wine trolley, and that starts at 10 a.m. It leaves from the plaza, and it goes up and down. So it's a good one. There's also plenty of tours you can book.
Oh, yeah. Platypus
Pure Luxury,
tours,
Platypus, Edge of the World Wine Tours. Bohemian Highway.
La Belle Vie. She does vegan tours.
Okay, good. Woody's Wine Tours. There's lots of them. Windsor Wine Tours. I mean, I guess there's a whole list there. So, okay, good. You're smart. You got it. Yeah, but obviously, my favorite thing to see as I drive home is people sitting by the side of the road waiting for an Uber.
No.
And I pull up and I say, you know what? You need to go back to the winery. And because sometimes your cell phone doesn't work so well up here, and you need to call.
So you don't give them a ride? You pull over and you talk to them?
I'm often going the other direction. If they want to come home with me and we can make Heartbreaker roast.
Foster one of your cats.
I could, and they can,
or adopt
I
one
could
of your
give them a
cats.
cat. That's right. You're a genius. You have a cat. Okay, here's another question that we got also through Facebook. But people text us questions too, all sorts of things. But here's one. This was kind of funny. Are there any restaurants that offer organic ingredients in Sonoma Valley?
It'd probably be easier to answer which ones don't offer organic ingredients. There's a lot. I mean, Valley is one of my favorites.
Right.
They literally, I see the chef, Emma, like at the farmer's market picking up her produce. Spread Kitchen does that too.
Right. Oh, Spread's great stuff. Like the Lebanese-inspired food.
Beautiful,
I love going
colorful,
over there.
fresh. Yeah, I love
really
their
good.
Stuff. Baker and Cook.
Oh, Jen makes good stuff. Oh, so good.
I could go on and on.
Yeah, so I think that's a good point. Your list would be a lot shorter if it was people who just opened up number 10 cans of things and poured them out.
Yeah.
Because most of the restaurants here, even like pizza restaurants and the Mexican restaurants like Sonoma Eats, he grows the stuff up at a farm. People grow food, or they know the person growing the food. And it's organic, or some's even like biodynamic or whatever. I mean,
at this point, I don't think people even have to say farm to table organic. It's just kind of a given here, you know.
We just call it eating.
Yes.
It's the way it is.
It's awesome.
So